Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hoops Hall of Fame podcast. This is your host, Matt Lehner. Today, I want to talk about how to know if you'll make it. If you'll make it in basketball, if you'll make it in business, if you'll make it in anything that you want to do in your life. A lot of athletes will ask me or ask other trainers, how do I know if I'm going to make it in basketball? Well, the first thing I want to say to this is, if you have to ask somebody else this question, then you're not going to make it. Just plain and simple. I'm going to keep it real with you guys today. If you have to ask somebody else this question, first of all, if you're going to make it, you're not ready, and you probably won't make it. If that's your attitude, if that's your mindset. Now, what about if you have these self-doubts in your mind? Now, as we talked about before, everybody has self-doubt. So if you're feeling self-conscious, you don't know if you're going to make the team, if you don't know if you're going to make basketball, professional basketball, college basketball, if you are feeling these self-doubts, realize that that's completely normal. That's healthy. It's actually a good thing, because like I said, that means that something is at stake. That means that you really want something, and you know that achieving that goal, reaching that destination, will be so gratifying to you, and you want it so bad that the thought of not having it creates that anxiety gap. So feeling those doubts, that self-consciousness, is a good thing, as long as you can put that to rest when the competition rolls around, meaning that when it's game time, you need to let that go and just trust your training, trust your instincts that you've built through that training, and just play. But outside the game, having that self-doubt can energize you, as we've talked about before, learning how to transmute emotions and feelings into energy to achieve your goals. And again, that's something that we'll probably go more in depth in later podcasts. But just realize, again, when you're feeling that self-doubt, don't resist it. Acknowledge that it's there and use it and transmute it into energy to go out and train and to do the things that are going to move you closer to your goals. So again, if you have to ask somebody else if you're going to make it, if you can achieve something, if doing this thing is too much, if it's too much for you to handle, then guess what? It is. But if you're feeling that way within yourself, then that's completely normal, and just use that emotion and use it to fuel yourself to reach your goals. The same thing could be said if you were asking yourself if you're ready. For example, if you're ready for tryouts, if you're ready to start your business, if you have to ask yourself if you're ready for something, then you're probably not ready. You need to realize that when that moment occurs, if you're ready, usually it's at a point where it's not healthy to be thinking that thought, meaning that before a test, if you're thinking if you're ready, you're basically screwed, because the test is coming, the teacher's walking up the aisle to hand you the test, and you're asking yourself if you're ready. Guess what? You should have been preparing, you should have been studying days and weeks in advance. However, sometimes it does occur that we get this self-conscious thought, am I ready? And if it's a month, 2 months before your tryout, before your test, before some big event, and you have that thought, then realize that you're probably not ready, and you need to be busting your butt that much harder to get yourself ready. Because trust me, when you're working really hard and pushing your limits, you won't have that thought. You'll know that you're doing as much as you possibly can, and whether you actually achieve the result you're looking for or not, you'll know that you put in as much effort as you could leading up to that point. So just realize that you need to be preparing ahead of time and pushing yourself as much as you possibly can, so that you never have to have that thought right before the game when it's too late. Alright, thanks for listening to the Hoops Hall of Fame podcast. I'm your host, Matt Lehner. Please like on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube. Tell your friends about this podcast. Tell them that we're talking basketball, how to improve your game, how to improve your life. I'll talk to all of you again tomorrow on the Hoops Hall of Fame podcast.